What up, world? Welcome to another episode of BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brian Janeau, like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms. Instagram threads, Brandon Janeau, Facebook, The Brandon Janeau Show, and of course TikTok, Brandon Janeau Show. Go follow me on all of those social media platforms. I truly appreciate it. Really, where you go is the YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show YouTube channel. Um, Go subscribe, like the vids, uh, comment, all of it, man. I appreciate it deeply, man. Appreciate it. It is not Tuesday. It is Monday, which means it is I Bleed Sports. Next week, I'll be back on Tuesday with I Bleed Sports. It is officially be the first official week. I mean, even though it's week 0 this week in college football, next week will be the official first weekend. Of course, next week I'll be bringing my crazy six, my games of the week, stuff like that. My most interesting games of the week and all that for college football. So stay tuned for that. That is coming next week. I got some college football I'm gonna talk about tonight. NFL. I'm gonna talk about these quarterback competitions. Uh, Two quarterback competitions have kind of been ended, but I'm still talking about them. It's all the other two that's raging on right now. Also, give my top 10 tight ends. See what the NFL done for the tight ends, and talk about my top 10 tight ends coming into 2025 season. Not a fantasy cinch, but it's just my top 10 tight ends. College football, I'll be talking about who I think will actually win the Heisman this year in college football, who you should maybe be should watch. You should look and watch this upcoming season for the tight end situation, the Heisman of college football. But let's start off like this, man. So we are what two? Next week will be what 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks from the um match boxing match Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford. They are officially going to be fighting September 13th in Vegas. Um, Last week they talked about Bud. Do I think Bud has a chance to really beat Canelo? Talked about that. Now I'm going to flip it to the other side, which is Canelo. Canelo. Canelo's could probably considered the favorite. I mean, let's be honest. It's his weight class. He's been in the middleweight division for a very long time. Um, the question is really, what does this victory, if he gets it right, if he beats Crawford, what does that do for his legacy? What does that do for his legacy? It's a very interesting question to have, right? It's a very interesting question to have to see what happens moving forward. Um, because this is the reason why I say this question. And Canelo fans, you can check the fuck out right now. Canelo has not had, despite what people want to say, Canelo has not had a truly game changing win on his resume. He hasn't had one. Oh, he beat Amir Khan. Everybody beats Amir Khan. What the fuck are you talking about? That loss, that win against Amir Khan now looks completely utterly shaky and alike because everybody beats Amir Khan. What the fuck are you talking about? Who's the other one, man? Oh, he beat Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto, who was clearly past his prime. Oh, he beat Sugar Shane Mosley, who was clearly past his fucking prime. Like the man never fought anyone that was in his age bracket. This has been Canelo's fights. Somebody that's completely and utterly past their prime, or somebody that is up and coming who really doesn't deserve to fight at that moment. the 3 times he's actually fought people that was of his boxing IQ ability and wasn't afraid of him, I can literally make the argument. Well, there is no argument to be made. He lost to Floyd, got his ass whooped in that fight, and people shut the fuck up about this. Well, he was 23 and Floyd was shut up. He was 23. He had fought 600 amateur fights. The man was already being considered one of the greats of already in boxing before he even fucking stepped in the ring with Floyd. So you can stop that shit right there. Canelo, he got absolutely dominated that night. That was not even close. Floyd gave that boy a boxing expedition, like a boxing clinic. The Triple G fight, the first Triple G fight, shit, even a little bit in the second one. But that first one, Triple G beat Canelo. And anybody that says that say he didn't is crazy. Triple G beat Canelo. You can sit there and say, it was 7-5, 8-4, whatever you want to say. He lost to Triple G. And then the Dimitri Bivol fight, he absolutely just didn't have it. Like, you can tell there were 2 different weight classes for a reason. That Dimitri Bivol being a light heavyweight and Canelo being a middleweight was a real fucking thing. Because if you watch that fight, you saw Dimitri Bivol beat the hell out of Canelo. He beat that boy senseless. And Canelo got frustrated to the point where he was just like, man, I can't do shit against this dude. It was simple shit. It was just jabs and stand in front of him. Jabs and stand in front of him. Boom, 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 boom. Just stand in front of him. Boom, boom, boom. Controlling distance. Give me a fight where Canelo was. The only one I could give you is Caleb Plant. That's the only one I could give you. And Caleb Plant recently ain't been looking too fucking special in the ring. So that's the only fight I can even give you that I can say without a shadow of a doubt. Both was at their prime, both were at their peak. He absolutely beat the hell out of Caleb. He beat Caleb Plant. I can even say he beat the hell out of Caleb Plant. He caught Caleb Plant in the 11th round. Caleb Plant could just never recover. Caleb Plant got tired at the end and just never could recover. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that people truly put this shit into perspective. I think people have, again, this is the media propaganda, that Canelo's the greatest boxer of all time, and Canelo's the greatest thing that's ever been done in boxing and all this other shit. You can't give me one significant win in his resume. Everybody he's either fought has either been past their prime or not actually on his boxing level in the senses of IQ, age, or anything. Like, they either been past their prime, Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley, when he beat old dude, and he got the middleweight titles. He never fought Andre Ward. He's been ducking David Benavidez. Give me a fight where Canelo was in the ring with somebody that was just of his age bracket, where he was the better boxer. And you can tell. The only one I give you is Caleb Plant. And even in that sense, Caleb Plant was winning some of those rounds at the end. He just got caught late. Like, you can't give me one fight where Canelo was just the absolute best boxer. Like, which brings me to the fight in September, which is, how much would this actually help Canelo's legacy? To those that already have Canelo in a top 10, 5 greatest boxer in range, this shit won't do nothing but pad his stats. But to me, if he beats Terence Crawford, that means something, because you just beat an undefeated undisputed welterweight champion who pretty much went to the welterweight division and dominated the welterweight division. Even its, most dominant champion at that time in Errol Spence. But it's the same thing I said about Terence Crawford last week, which is, you beat Sean Porter, but Sean Porter already had lost to Errol Spence. You beat Cal Brook in record time, but Cal Brook had already lost to Earl Spence. Got his eyesight broken. Got his eye socket broken by fucking Earl Spence. Like, you won those fights, but it's just like when we look back at it, it's like, yeah, you the only one we can straight up say you absolutely dominated was Earl Spence. Canelo feels like if he wins this, so like I said, to the fanboys, he beat Crawford. And there's nothing we can say. It pats his stats. He's the greatest to ever do it. Nothing's gonna change. But to a person like me, it's like I can't even sit here and give you that because yeah, you be. I will give you that. I will give you the credit for that. I'll give him credit for that because he definitely did it. But I look at Canelo Alvarez's actual resume. Look at it. Who the fuck is he really beating? By the name, yeah, he beat some top tier Hall of Famers and Sugar Shane and Cotto and he beat those guys 100%. He beat them. But where were they at in their careers when he beat them? And that's where the fuck the problem kicks in because nobody wants to say that part. Nobody wants to say that part out loud. It's like, yeah, he beat them, but what the fuck were they in their careers at that time when he beat them? When he beat Cotto, Cotto was damn near out the ring. He was damn near done. Sugar Shane Mosley, that was Sugar Shane Mosley, I think, last fight he ever had was against Canelo Alvarez. I think same thing with Cotto. Like, bro, y'all want to give him credit for beating people when most of these motherfuckers was out the ring. They were done pretty much. And that's my thing. It's like, yeah, I can give you credit for winning those fights because you won those fights. You went in there and you handled your business. But again, it's particularly where did he fight them in their careers? The 3 fights he's actually had where he actually had to really buckle the fuck down and actually had to really worry about them. Floyd, he got destroyed. Triple G, the first one. And people forget also, he ran for Triple G for like 2-3 years. Like, he didn't even want to fight Triple G for like 2-3 years. People just completely and utterly forget that shit. Like, yeah, he fought him eventually once HBO gave him all the fucking money. But just them two right then and there in their primes, he wasn't even trying to fight that fucking dude. Triple G would, if they would have fought right then and there in 20, when did the first fight happen? 2017, I think. If they would have fought right then and there, I mean, absolutely right then and there, in like 2016, 2015, 2016, Triple G would have beat the shit out of Canelo. And that's why I always say, people that sit there and say, well, Canelo beat Triple G. The second one, a little iffy still. The third one, Triple G was completely out of his fucking prime. Like, he was done. And we all knew it. But again, you got fanboys that will always sit there and say, well, he won that third fight. Of course he won that fucking third fight. Triple G was damn near out the ring by the time he fucking fought that man. That is my problem with fans nowadays. It's just like, I can give you the credit, but I can also tell you to your face, you're toting a flag for absolutely no reason. He won. I'm not taking away the win. But look where they were in their careers. And that's why I don't look at Canelo like everybody looks at Canelo. I don't look at Canelo at all like everybody looks at fucking Canelo. I think he alright. I think he decent. I think he can box. But I've also seen him fight actual boxers that can really counter his ass and put him on the defensive enough. And he kind of backs the fuck off. Like, you look at the Dimitri Bivol fight. Once Dimitri Bivol showed that he was more dominant and he can actually, and that power shit wasn't affecting him, Dimitri Bivol was fucking Canelo up and he couldn't do shit about it. What does this do for Canelo Alvarez's career if he wins? Yes, it's another champion on his resume. He beats the undefeated Terrence Crawford. Yeah, that's great. But really, what does that say? Because then I look at Terrence Crawford's resume and I'm like, Well, who the fuck did Terrence Crawford really have on his resume? I'm not trying to downplay any one of these men's resumes. I'm just saying, let's actually have a conversation before we just start jumping out the window and screaming who's gonna be the greatest to ever do it. And I will say this: if Crawford beats Canelo, Crawford jumps into the conversation of the greatest to ever do it because of how y'all perceive Canelo. And as much as you probably hate that shit, it's just facts. Crawford jumps into the greatest of all time conversation if he beats Canelo because of how y'all have perceived, how y'all see Canelo in the sense of boxing. If Bud beats Canelo, he jumps him in the greatest of all time conversation. Because now he just became the undisputed welterweight, middleweight champion too. So lightweight, welter, and now metal and middleweight. 3 divisions. Nobody's ever has won 3 titles. 3. 3 undisputed championships in 3 different weight classes. Crawford beats Canelo. He jumps Canelo in the conversation of the greatest of all time. Now, maybe not to you, but to me, he jumps him. He fucking leaps over him. And I don't even have Canelo high on that list. But he would jump him. So, college football. Listen, man. The Heisman is the most prestige trophy an individual player can have. Now, the last couple of years, the Heisman has went to the highest bidder. Is pretty much what I say. Whoever could buy a fucking Heisman, they're gonna win the fucking Heisman. There's been a couple of winners the last couple of years where I'm just like, how the fuck did they win? Caleb Williams is one. I still don't know how the fuck he won that Heisman, but teach his own. Um, Travis Hunter last year, like you gave this motherfucker a Heisman because he played too many snaps. Fuck what? Because he played a lot of snaps. That's why he got the Heisman. Fuck out of here. Um, and there's been some that have been the right choice, like Jaden Daniels a couple years ago, even though they were trying their hardest to give it to Bo Nix. Jaden Daniels deserved the fucking Heisman. Look at LSU's team since Jaden Daniels left. They have no offense. They are one fucking dimensional, and that's being generous. And that's being nice. So the Heisman this year is kind of interesting because I don't think there's a clear cut favorite, even though people think there is, and that's Arch Manning from Texas. And then you got the kid from Clemson, um, the quarterback from Clemson. You got Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. You got Nicholas Singleton from Penn State, the running back from Penn State. You got, of course, Garrett Newsom from LSU. You got Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. You got Roy Williams from Alabama. Shit, I even think you got some defensive players that could fucking probably win a fucking Heisman. I'm not even gonna lie. But who will win the Heisman this year? If everything goes right for the media, and everything goes right, and I mean absolutely right for the media, Arch Manning is winning the Heisman this year. That's what they want. Who I actually think is going to win the Heisman this year, who I actually think is going to win the Heisman this year, even though I don't fuck with this team, I think if he does enough, he may jump the conversation. And that is Nicholas Singleton um from Penn State. think he wins the Heisman. The reason why I say I think he wins the Heisman because Penn State offense is going to literally be relying on him. And on top of that, it feels like a dark horse pick. It feels like something that we kind of know could happen, but nobody's really talking about it because we've already put it in our minds. It's either Arch Manning, it's Garrett Newsom, it's this person, that person. But I think Nicholas Singleton from Penn State is the most intriguing one. The reason why I say he's the most intriguing one is because, one, like I said, Penn State's offense, if you put the ball in Drew Eleanor's hands, we've seen enough to know if you put the ball in Drew Eleanor's hands, that team's going to fucking suck. It's not going to be good. Nicholas Singleton is at least decent enough as a running back and a catcher where he can put up the numbers. Now, I would not be surprised also Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame actually takes over because I have no idea who Notre Dame's quarterback is. But week 1 is going to be an intriguing game for Jeremiah Love because I know Miami's defense is going to be Miami's defense last year was just fucking dumpster fire. If they can at least stop the running game of Notre Dame, Miami can win that game. I'll talk about that next week. That's next week. Yeah, that's next week. That's next week. That's next week. But Nicholas Singleton is definitely somebody that I think will win the Heisman. I think we're so predicated on a quarterback winning it. I don't think there's going to be any quarterback that's going to be significantly the best quarterback this year. I don't think Arch Manning is just going to jump out the window and start having great games. Like, you got to be fucking delusional for that. That first game is going to be an intriguing fucking game for him, by the way. As good as Jeremiah Smith is, I think Jeremiah Smith could be actually a Heisman winner. I just feel like he needs a lot of shit still to go with him. Like, it's still a lot of shit he got to do. But if I had to put my money on somebody right now, it'd be Nicholas Singleton. NFL. So there have been 4 quarterback competitions that have been going on in the NFL that we know of, which is Browns, Giants, Colts, Saints. 2 of them have officially announced who their starters are for week 1. They have announced it, put it to bed. But I'm still going to talk about it. The other 2 teams have no fucking clue. So I'm going to go with the obvious one, and then I'm going to get to the last one, which I think is the most confusing one. The most clear-cut one to me is the Giants one. I know people think that's not crazy to sit there and say that's the most clear-cut one. Yes, Jackson Dart has looked amazing in preseason. But again, it's fucking preseason. And again, people don't want to understand this. It's fucking preseason. Jackson Dart is playing against literally backups. And not just backups, vanilla defensive backups. So, of course, he looks good. And that's not a shade to the kid, a shot at the kid, nothing. But you're asking a quarterback that's a fucking rookie to step into an offensive line that may or may not be 100% up to date. Outside of maybe Andrew Thomas, who you drafted. I forgot the other kid you got also there. But outside of the offensive line, like I said last week, outside of Malik Neighbors, who's your second wide receiver? Who's your slot? Who's your tight end? Who's your second tight end? Better yet, who the fuck is your running back? Is it Tracy? It could be. The kid you drafted last year. Go with the obvious one. If you ever need to pull the trigger on Russell Wilson, you can pull the trigger on Russell fucking Wilson. It's not that fucking hard. You can pull the trigger on Russell Wilson. If this does not pan out the way you think it's going to pan out, you can pull the trigger on Russell Wilson and say, listen, we're going with Jackson Dart. We want to see how the rookie looks in this situation, especially if the season isn't going the way you want it to go. It's an easier way to do that. But if you just sit here and say, we're going to start Jackson Dart right out the gate, and he struggles like a rookie probably will, guess what the fuck's going to happen? You can't now say, let's sit him on the bench and now let's start Russell Wilson. No. You either start Russell out the gate or you don't start him at all. So for the Giants fans, I get it, you're excited for Jackson Dart. But if this kid does not work out in the regular season, you can't then go pull a fucking hook and say, okay, you're done, and pull a hook and then say, all right, Russ, you're starting now. That don't work like that. It's harder to sell that shit. It's easier to sell the veteran fucking up than the rookie fucking up. The rookie is easy to fuck up because he's a rookie. He's not supposed to have everything figured out. If the veteran come in and he can't get shit right for the first 6 weeks, and then you want to see how the rookie looks, and your season's down the fucking crap already, throw the rookie in the game. Let him start. Why not? I don't know when the Giants' bye week is either. So if it's an early bye, I can easily let Russell Wilson play the first couple of weeks. If the team is, like I said, 3-3, 4-3, 3-4, 2-5, any crazy ass number like that where you're like, we're winning, but we're not where we need to be offensively, then you put Jackson Dart in the game. Brian Dable, like I said also last week about Brian Dable, he's not in any rush to start Jackson Dart because his job's on the fucking line. I can make enough excuses if Russell Wilson sucks. But once I put the rookie in and he can't get shit going, I'm fired. Me and the GM, we're fired. Because we cannot make this rookie work. This is all about, y'all don't understand football. This is about Brian Dable. I'm not about to fuck up my job because the rookie looks good against the most vanilla fucking defenses he's ever going to see. You must be out your fucking mind. I'm not doing that. So Russell should start. Obviously, he should start. It makes sense that he's starting. And for those fanboys that are like, well, just rip the Band-Aid off. Y'all are the same ones that will sit there, probably draft night, and was like, I can't believe they drafted Jackson Dart. What the fuck were they thinking? Same ones. You're getting excited about your first action of football. So this kid's coming out here and he looks amazing. No telling if this kid is going to actually pan out like that when he's actually having to see actual real coverages. No telling if that happens. The next quarterback competition that is officially wrapped up. And if anybody was living under a fucking rock, obviously, the Browns is going to start Joe Flacco. Anybody thought that Joe Flacco wasn't getting the starting job, you must be out your goddamn mind. Joe Flacco is a veteran. Same thing with Russell Wilson. A veteran. He's been through the trenches. He's been through all the craziest shit. He's been through all these crazy ass games, moments, situations. Joe Flacco makes the most sense to start. He's the only one that could kind of weather the storm early with the Browns. I'm not saying the Browns are going to be great. I'm not saying the Browns are going to turn into some championship winning team. But I want people to understand something. The same fans that heard Joe Flacco as the starter today and said, the Browns are going to go 0-8. Y'all were the same fans last week that was talking about some Shedeur Sanders is taking his team to the fucking Super Bowl. What the fuck changed in a week? What changed in a week? You thought the Browns was going to a Super Bowl last week because you saw Shedeur Sanders. This week, they're starting off 0-8. What the fuck happened in a week? See, this is the problem. Y'all are letting your emotions clout the fucking common sense you have. Stop letting your emotions take over your mental state. Your emotions are one thing. You can be emotionally attached to a player all person. Cool. Do your thing. This is the same Browns team today y'all said was going to go 0-8 because they didn't start Shedeur Sanders. I literally said this last week. Shedeur Sanders being the starter of the Browns will be the worst decision because he has no offensive line. He has what, one receiver in Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku. You got to bring the kid Isaiah Bond up to speed, so whenever he gets a chance to actually really play and start, we shall see. What are the Browns? Again, y'all are not thinking rationally. You like a person, you're emotionally attached to that person, and that's all the fuck you can think of. Nothing more, nothing less. Cool that you are emotionally attached to Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy for you. That's cool. Appreciate it. But when you sit here and now say that this team is now going to go winless. A week ago, you were saying they're going to the fucking Super Bowl. What changed? And yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. I know quarterbacks can kind of change the situation. But Shadeur's not that type of quarterback. He can't change that situation. So this is my problem with fans, fan bases, particularly fans of just a person. I don't care that you like Shedeur Sanders. I don't give a fuck if you like Shedeur Sanders. Same, I like Shedeur. Shedeur is actually a good quarterback, but he's not this game-changing, life-altering, about to make your team the greatest team on the planet quarterback. He's not. Today news came out, and what the fuck did I see on social media? Everybody lost their fucking mind. You got MGM Bet Sports posting on social media, fucking Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes trying to compare Joe Flacco to Shedeur Sanders. The fuck? You had FanDuel with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady making it the same correlation to this. It's like, bro, I don't know if y'all are stupid or you are really just rage baiting motherfuckers. Either way it fucking goes, that is the most disrespectful shit to actual football fans. Because we all know how these stories played out. And you're literally sitting there trying to tell me because the media darling is Shedeur Sanders, he's just going to turn into fucking Tom Brady. Nobody knew Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady. Not a soul. Nobody, well, let me scratch that. I knew Patrick Mahomes was good. I watched Patrick Mahomes in college. I knew Patrick Mahomes was good. Shit, I even thought Patrick Mahomes should be the Saints quarterback. I was hurt when we didn't get a chance to draft that fucking kid. I was like, man, fuck, if we draft Patrick Mahomes, we got Drew Brees for at least 2 more years, and then Patrick Mahomes take this fucking team over. We would not be in the shit we in right now with this quarterback situation. I tell you that fucking much. But to try to sit there and compare these two, this situation to those two situations, is disrespectful as fuck to football fans. Real football fans. I'm not talking about these new motherfuckers that came out of nowhere and only riding the wave because you like a person. Shedeur is okay. He can play. But he ain't fucking Tom Brady. Could he turn into him? Maybe. One day. He damn sure ain't Patrick Mahomes. Because Patrick Mahomes was doing that shit in college. So, I don't understand this. I don't get it. What I think the Browns should do, they already named their starting quarterback. You should keep the depth chart the same. The fuck changed? Joe Flacco was 1 when it started. The fuck changed? Kenny Pickett was 2 when it started. The fuck changed? Dylan Gabriel was 3rd. What the fuck changed? See this again. And this is what people don't understand. Shedeur Sanders is turning into Tim Tebow. He's turning into Johnny Manziel. He's turning into these quarterbacks that the media loves so much and the fans love so much. The only difference is Shador is better than Johnny and Tim Tebow. I give you that. He's better than both of them. That's not even a conversation. The difference is that people will literally sit here and tell you to your face that Shador should be the starter outright. With no offensive line, no receivers, one receiver, no running back, no offensive line, one tight end. Just so y'all can turn around, and if this shit don't work, just so you can turn around and blame Kevin Stefanski and blame a black general manager like Andrew Berry for not giving Shador the right situation. What the fuck is the right situation? Y'all have turned this kid into a media darling. I don't know if y'all noticed, but that's not a good thing. Y'all have made him into some. Y'all made Shador into a charity case, bro. That's really what the fuck y'all have done. Y'all made him to a charity case. Y'all want people to pity him, but then you want to sit here and tell everybody to fear him. He's the best quarterback. No, he's not. Fuck, he's not. You don't know if he's going to be what he was. Again, you're seeing shit through drunk eyes, through blinders. It looked good last week against a third string defense. The Browns did exactly what they were supposed to do. Joe Flacco. Duh. It's the most clear-cut fucking answer you could have ever found. Shador looked good in preseason. Great. Everybody looks good in fucking preseason. The fuck are you talking about? Which is about to bring me to what I'm about to say, which is the coach situation. Daniel Jones looks good in preseason. You want to fucking have a conversation now? Daniel fucking Jones looks good in preseason. Do I think when the season starts he's gonna look like that? Fuck no. Are you crazy? I've seen enough of Daniel Jones tapes and enough of Daniel Jones's games to know all of this shit's a facade. All this shit is a facade. I think the coach. I think the coach. I got been saying, coach Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones are literally the same fucking quarterback. They are the same fucking quarterback. There's nothing different about these two. Nothing. And if you think there is, something's wrong with you. I get this. Daniel Jones is a little bit taller than Anthony Richardson. Outside of that, they're the same fucking quarterback. Coach are in the same dilemma. You can start Daniel Jones, and then your team shits the bed for like 6 weeks. You can start Anthony Richardson, and then your team shits the bed for like 6 weeks. You can play either or, and they shit the bed for 6 weeks. There's nothing about either one of these quarterbacks that if you're the coach, you should feel comfortable about. If you're thinking Daniel Jones is the answer, or you think Anthony Richardson is the answer for the Colts, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Let's bring you to the most confusing one, and that's the Saints. The reason why it's more confusing than the Colts one, because the Colts one, whoever you start, it's the same fucking quarterback. For the Saints one, whoever you start, I feel like they should stay your quarterback for the rest of the season. Because you don't want to put the rookie in a situation where he can't get the fuck out of it. But you also want to put a second year player like Spencer Rattler in a situation where you don't have no faith in him to get the fuck out of it. So whoever's the starting quarterback, the same shoes, they better stay the starting quarterback for the rest of the year. There is no turning back. There is no fixing this. There is no going backwards on your word. It's Spencer. It's Tyler. Done. And I don't want to hear the rest of this shit. I don't want to hear this shit about, well, Spencer looks bad. The only way these motherfuckers lose the job is if they get really fucking hurt. Outside of that, they're the starting quarterback. As a Saints fan, neither one of these quarterbacks have separated themselves. And the one thing about social media is if you like somebody, again, if you like someone, you're going to always lean towards that person with an emotional way of looking at it. I fought with Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer should have got the job. Spencer got a raw deal last year. Let's get 100. Let's keep it a beam. He got a raw fucking deal last year. Offensive line got hurt by the time he got in the starting position. The receiving core was hurt. Alvin was there, but at that time, it didn't make any sense. That whole team was fucked up and banged up and done. So I can't even sit up here and tell anybody that Spencer Rattler shouldn't at least get a chance to see what he can do with an actual healthy starting offensive line, an actual healthy starting receiving core, and an Alvin Kamara that's actually healthy. But this preseason hasn't shown shit. And we got to stop trying to put it by our methods and our merits and what we think. What I know is Tyler Shough has a quicker release time than Spencer Rattler. Tyler Shough, when he's got a consistent flow, a consistent rhythm, he's better. Spencer Rattler's good, but Spencer Rattler still gets a little bit gun shy. You can tell he's still a little bit too like, I don't know about this. I like yesterday, he checked the ball down a lot yesterday. But the first game against the Chargers, he didn't do that shit at all. This is the thing. This really does come down to Kellen Moore's belief. If you think Spencer's the right choice, then go to Spencer. But if that's any maybe in that, then go with Tyler, man. And I know Saints fans don't want to hear that. Go with Tyler. And I know people don't want to hear that. I'm not sitting up there and saying Tyler's just fucking best quarterback on a depth chart shit. No. But Spencer hasn't shown you that he's the best either. And that's where the fuck the problem lies. This isn't like the Browns. This isn't like the Giants. This isn't even like the Colts. Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson are the same fucking quarterback. So it really doesn't matter who the fuck you go with. Spencer Rattler is supposed to be a year ahead of Tyler Shough. And it doesn't feel like that when they play football. I don't give a fuck what they look like in practice. In the actual football games, Spencer Rattler has not gotten one percentage better over Tyler Shough. That's a problem. That's a problem. The fact that this is a close battle, and when you watch the games, you can't tell which is which. That is why I'm having a very hard time being like, yeah, Spencer wins this regardless. I can't sit there and say that. I can't sit there and say that. That's lying. Now, if you just want to give it to Spencer because he just got a shitty deal last year, all right, do your thing. But if you sitting there trying to tell me he's the clear-cut best quarterback, no, he's not. Like, and again, practices don't tell you that. You could look good in practice all fucking day. But when the games start, if you're gun shy in certain situations, that's a problem. But yeah. NFL tight ends. So I've been doing this for the last couple weeks, comparing the NFL's. Uh, I got this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, sorry about that. Their number one tight end for them is um George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. I'll talk about him in a minute. My number one tight end on my list is Trey McBride from Arizona Cardinals. Listen, I follow George Kittle. Talk about him in a minute, but to me, for what Trey McBride has become, with that Arizona team, particularly for Kyler Murray, that's incredible. I think Trey McBride might be one of the best tight ends in the league. To me, he is the best tight end in the league for what he can accomplish and what he can actually do. So I actually do have Trey McBride number one over Josh Kittle. Number two, they have Brock Bowers from the Las Vegas Raiders. My brother Wine's gonna be very happy because we both got the same number two. I think Brock Bowers is the second best tight end in the NFL. I think he's the second best tight end in the NFL. I think what you saw last year was just a rookie catching the ball. Like I think Brock Bowers is going to show everybody that he's the second best. He is the best tight end by the end of this year. I think Brock Bowers is going to be the best tight end in the NFL. Number three, NFL. They had Trey McBride at number three. For me, I got Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions at number three. 2 years ago, he was the Brock Bowers of the conversation. A rookie that came out of nowhere, a tight end that just took over, did an amazing job. All of these weapons in Detroit, and he kind of just skated by. Last year, he dealt with a couple of injuries. He dealt with injuries. He dealt with a lot of shit last year in Detroit with his own health. But I think this year, particularly trying to now get this offense, new offensive coordinator, new offensive way of thinking formula, I think he might be more used for what he was his rookie year than what he was last year, if he stays healthy. Number four, they have Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. My number four is Josh Kittle, San Francisco 49ers. Josh Kittle, I want to just say this. Mark Andrews not on my list. Not because of what happened in the playoff game last year. I talk about that when I get to who I do have on the list. But George Kittle is my four. Now I'm not here to sit here and debate that George Kittle isn't still great and all this other shit. No, George Kittle's good. George Kittle's still one of the best tight ends in the world, in the league. But if you're sitting there and trying to tell me that he's in the same boat, same relation, same feeling of a Trey McBride or Sam Laporta or Brock Bowers, maybe I'm just always I'm either a year early or a year too late. But George Kittle is still good. He can still play. He can still do his job. But in the end, especially this year, he's going to have to be more relied on, especially with now Brandon Ayuk being gone for the first 6 weeks, and you got a bunch of other receivers that's a little banged up and out. Him and Rick Parcell and Christian McCaffrey are going to be like literally leaned on for the offense of the San Francisco 49ers the first 6 fucking weeks. So George Kittle, I expect to get all of his numbers, all of his things, but that has kind of also been George Kittle's biggest problem the last couple of years. So he's been hurt a lot. So we shall see. The number 5 is Sam Laporta. My number 5 is David Njoku of the Cleveland Browns. Like I said, outside of Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku is the only fucking weapon the Browns have. Like, David Njoku, to me, is one of the best tight ends. And it took a long fucking time for David Njoku to finally get to where he's at right now as a tight end. It took him a long fucking time. But he's always been a little bit banged up, and but when he's been healthy and he has played, he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and it's not even close. Number 6, they have TJ Hockenson of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't have TJ Hockenson on my list at all. Um, he's still good. He still does what he needs to do for the Minnesota Vikings, but Number 6 for me is Pat Fairmew of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, Pat Fairmew from the Pittsburgh Steelers is one of the best tight ends in football. I don't think he gets his just fucking due enough for what the fuck he actually has to go through. The fact that it's been him and George Pickens for like the last 2-3 fucking years, being the only two like real receivers on that team is crazy. And now you just replace him with DK. You just replace George Pickens with DK Metcalf. But Pat Fairmew, since he's been in the league, has been one of the best tight ends in the fucking league. And anybody tells you that he's not, you're just delusional. Number 7, they have Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce's not on my list. Number 7, for me, is Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. One thing that I learned about last year is that when Dallas Goedert is still healthy and he's still moving and he's still doing what he needs to do, he's still one of the most valuable tight ends in the fucking NFL. Even with A.J. Brown, even with Devontae Smith, even with Saquon Barkley. Most of Jalen Hurts' biggest plays came when he looked for Dallas Goedert. So he's still somewhat of a fucking weapon. Now they're trying to work this new kid in Kalauskas, but as long as Dallas Goedert is still there and healthy, he will be that guy. But Philly's always a couple years ahead of what they're actually going to do. Dallas Goedert was there even when the Philadelphia Eagles I forgot the other tight end they had. And he was a good tight end too. I forgot his fucking name now. But Dallas Goedert was there when he was there. So they always know when it's time to move on. Number 8 is Dallas Goedert on their list. My number 8 is Isaiah Likely of the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, I don't have Mark Andrews on my list because I got Isaiah Likely. I think Isaiah Likely is going to take a lot of reps from Mark Andrews this season. Like I said, it has nothing to do with the playoff game last year. It has to do a lot with Isaiah Likely fitting more into what Baltimore wants to do, which is a longer, deep, deep routes for their players. Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins. Isaiah Likely opens up the middle of the field a little bit more than Mark Andrews does right now. And Isaiah Likely's height, and his ability just to play the way he plays and does things will help Lamar Jackson out tremendously. So I think Isaiah Likely is going to be one of the best tight ends by the end of the year. Number 9 is Isaiah Likely on their list. Number 9 for me is Dalton Schultz of the Houston Texans. I know they just got a new tight end. I don't give a shit. Dalton Schultz for the last 4 or 5 years has been one of the best fucking tight ends in football. And people would never give him his fucking credit, and they would never give him his fucking respect. But from Dallas, where they had literally just CeeDee Lamb and him, to now Houston, the man fits whatever offensive scheme you're trying to have. I think Cade Stover is going to be pretty good this year. I like the new pickup they got now as a tight end. But I still think Dalton Schultz is going to be one of the best tight ends by the end of the year. And if you got a fantasy team, I'm not saying draft Dalton Schultz. Fuck no. But by week 4, your tight ends ain't doing what they need to do. It would not behoove you it would not hurt you if you think about getting Dalton Schultz. And then number 10, we both closed out with the same tight end at number 10. And that's Dalton Connect of the Buffalo Bills. Same reason probably I have Dalton Connect at number 10 is the same reason I have Dalton Connect at number 10. From the moment he entered into the league, he became one of Josh Allen's most impactful players on that offense, and they need him a lot, especially in this year and going into next year. This year they're going to need him tremendously because of the receiving situation they have again this year. They absolutely fucking need Dalton Connect to be the guy. He's going to take a lot of load off of Josh Allen's shoulders when it comes to the passing game. So using him is going to be the perfect person. And I think Dalton Connect is going to be the perfect person moving forward for the Buffalo Bills receiving this upcoming season. But that is it. That is the top. That is it. Like I said, next week I'll be back. College football is next week, which brings into the crazy six, my crazy six. Uh, games of the week that I'm looking forward to. All that, man, be next week. Following week will be the NFL. So I'll be bringing back my big four and my levels of warning. So that's next week. That'd be 2 weeks from now, but next week is college football week 1. I'll talk about a lot of the games next week. Baseball, we're getting closer to the end of baseball season. I talk about the Brewers and the Blue Jays both hitting 70 wins. I didn't get a chance to talk about them today, but talk about them this week, next week. Some more NFL because the preseason will be over by next week. Yeah. But that is it. That's all. I'm Brandon Janeau. This is Sports. Peace.